Hiya! Welcome to the Stanley Parable. Yeah, so this is a confusing game already because the description is confusing. That we're playing a Stanley, but we're not playing a Stanley at the same time. And I played the demo, but it's a completely different storyline. So let's just go right in. End is never the end, is never the end, is loading. Click.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
I didn't click.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-winning, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Was he?
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, so I can move. Can I pick up something? No. I guess I just follow the narrator?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oops. The controls are slightly odd. It's like sliding. I'm letting go of the controller and he still goes on. Where's the meeting room? Apparently not here. Nobody's here, it's creepy.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Did I? Or did I not?
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Hi.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
I like
but
it.
Eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nah.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
Oh, do not lie. If you are lying right now, so stop. Oh. I'm slightly too small for this table, apparently. Whoa. What? Okay, that is a big room. Should I? Do not jump from the cargo. Lift while it is in motion. Will cause death. Thank you for that warning. Penalty for misuse of cargo lift. $1,000. Penalty for jumping off the carriage. After you died or before?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
No, he's talking
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
For who?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
It's locked. Can I jump or something? Hop up. Hop up! I can't. But ain't that great? Someone is drilling a hole into the wall. Please stop it. May contain information. I just can't get over how silly this is. Are you quite finished, please? Thank you. Okay, so I'm supposed to go into the black door. Where?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
English sockets. British ones, I mean. Huh?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside.
That was
Let me
damn
show
creepy.
you what's really going on here.
Damn it! That was scary. Can I go back?
Sorry,
Ah,
but you're in my story now.
Maybe I shouldn't have played this game, damn it. You're creepy, miss.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
What? Good morning, employee 427. Press LT on your gamepad. I don't want to. I don't want to. I can't.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown.
Was this desk
fantastic
here the whole
discoveries
time?
of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Wasn't there a couch or something?
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Please press X to spend time with the boys.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Okay. Please press.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
What? Please press RT to tell your kids a story.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Tell your wife you love her.
But there is no answer. How could
She's
there possibly
gone.
be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
I want to point out that those drawers are useless over there. This one, where I'm putting something to point at, because they can't be pulled out. It's not reasonable and possible. Oops,
And
why?
I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he
I've got a
remains
chair.
here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okay, I won't. Okay, I have to push the button. Do I have to push the button? Tell me, game. I can't survive this pressure.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Please press X to question nothing.
I
Okay.
suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I
Please die? What the hell? I'm confused. It started out confusing, now it became creepy. Honestly, I'm scared.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So it started again. Okay. I hate Mondays.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
probably should enter the left door.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Get Chris out of the broom closet. What? Stand office. Drift the. What? Hire someone to synergize paper? Papers are too synergized? Sucks. Fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the papers. Yeah. Who moved my desk? Please reap the targets. Reap? On the topic of something? Push for funding for R&D of new coffee machine. The future was yesterday, tomorrow is now. Tomorrow, complete today's unfinished agenda items. Right next day's agenda. Reflect. Okay. IT department. Meeting room. Okay. Office party. There's a smiley. Do not alter without consulting whiteboard manager. There's a whiteboard manager. Seriously, are you kidding me? Bi-quarterly post-review. We need less reviews. What? Want to get rid of the death sport portion in the primary review schedule, but I think that's a stupid idea. Work harder. Okay. Everyone is unique, you most of all. Okay, so there's a PowerPoint presentation. Number of slides on this slide. What? What? What do people want? Things? Money, more money, things, but with money to buy more things. Graphs about things and money. Yes, definitely. Please, no more charts. The Bob appreciation minute. Circle the top 20 things you love most about your boss. Fill out. Okay. I should probably leave the room. Oops. Room closet. Ah! What was his name?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Oh, I was so scared. I heard it was shut on me.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Nah, that looks creepy. That doesn't look less creepy, honestly. Executive bathroom? Okay. Hello. Why do you have such big offices? Is this an office? No, it's closed. Okay.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
There's a dot. Why is that a dot? Hello, dot. Oh, Could you repeat the number, please?
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
2 2 8.
2845.
Thank you.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
It kind of looks like Mr. Burns' office. That camera is pointed at the wall. It isn't pointed anywhere on the floor. I'm pretty sure of that. And it does look kind of like Portal. There's a button. I push the button and die. Yep. I'm so going to die. So I have to follow the game or it will kill me and I have to redo everything. And probably I'll have
Descending
to
deeper into the building, Stanley
die at the
realized
end.
he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Light, please. What? It's gone?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
It says escape, but you know, I'll just follow the game, probably. He talked about being able to think of his own, but I'm not sure. Just doors everywhere.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the
those television?
strength to find out?
No, I don't. Camera. Paper, something. Employee observation protocol. And something blurry. Okay, let's push that button.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true
Fired.
nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
What the hell?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe it couldn't
Where's
be
my
true.
number?
Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Yes.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life, for he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Really? Am I going to? Well, this looks like in Star Wars. Only a little bit. Okay, so can I save the game? I hope so. Probably not. So, let's stop here. Next time I'm going to push that button first, or try to, and then I'm going to step in there, I guess. Thank you for watching. I hope you're as confused as I am, because that makes me feel less stupid. So, goodbye.